Hello everyone, I'm CJ, and today I'm going to get under the covers of The Indian in the Cupboard by Lynne Reid Banks. Most of you might be familiar with this book because of the movie The Indian in the Cupboard, which was how I became familiar with it. And up until a few years ago, I didn't even know it was a book because I didn't have to read it when I was a kid. And I didn't read when I was a kid. Well, I did, but, nothing like this. I read, like, Star Wars and Goosebump books and silly stuff like that. It was published in 1980 by Avon Publications, or Doubleday Books in England and a few other places. It's a relatively quick read, weighing in at 181 pages. It's pretty thin. I knocked it out in about 2 days, a day and a half, 2 train rides, whatever you want to call it. The story is about a boy named Omri who gets a magical cupboard for his birthday from his brother, and his brother finds it in an alley on the side of their house and decides to give it to his brother for his birthday. And first of all, I thought, what a cheap gift, I'm just going to give you this thing I found in the alley. But as it turns out, it's quite an awesome gift because it brings toys to life. But first, Omri has to have a key to open it, and he gets the key from his mom, who got the key from her great grandma, or his great grandma. I think her grandma, maybe. Yeah, and the key opens the cupboard, which I thought was a huge coincidence. But it's a book. You can't really take stock into things like that when you're bringing Indians and cowboys to life. But so Omri puts the toy in. Brings the Indian to life. The Indian's name is Little Bear. He's an Iroquois Indian. And Omri doesn't tell anyone except for his friend Patrick. And his friend Patrick's kind of a jerk, and he wants his own, come-to-life toy. And Omri's like, oh, no, you can't do it. It's real. It's a real person. They have real feelings. They were a real person from the past. And Patrick's kind of a jerk. And then he wants to tell everyone, and I'm like, Patrick, why you want to tell all these people, man? People are going to want this, and they're going to take it from you, and you're not going to have it anymore. And so there's a conflict between Patrick and Omri, and there's also this conflict between Little Bear, the Indian, and the cowboy that Patrick brings to life named Boone. And there's these two conflicts going on, and it really brings, this conflict of, Indians and cowboys, or Native Americans and Americans, to the forefront for little kids. And it does it in a great way, in a fun way. And it's really educational in that respect. Helps kids understand how to solve problems and, overcome disagreements with your friends. And I put it this way, which I thought was a unique spin on this novel. It's a coming-of-age story about dealing with reality and losing your imagination, because when you're a kid and you're playing with toys, you put the life into the toy with your imagination. But Omri doesn't have to do this. He can put any toy he wants in there, and he can bring them to life. And sorry, my phone's going off. And, he can bring the toy to life, and the toy has its own life. It has its own, thoughts. And Omri doesn't have to inject his own thoughts and imagination into the toy to bring it to life. So I thought that was interesting. I thought Banks did a great job of writing each character. Did a great job with writing Patrick, especially because I was really annoyed with this kid. And, just the way he talked and the way he acted, just really aggravated me. And I was like, I wanted to put the book down because I was aggravated at him. So I thought she did a great job with characters, especially with Little Bear, too. How his native dialect really shone through in the text. And, same thing with Boone, because they both have different ways of speech. And she did a great job of bringing that out. And it made it a very realistic read. But then again, I'm delving too deep into a text which is probably for ages 8 to 10. Oh, it's a 6th grade reading level. So, you know, I don't want to get too deep into it, but the one thing I didn't like about this novel was how they don't explain the magic behind the cupboard and the key and everything. And I would have liked to know, like, oh, well, it was, you know, it used to be a magician's or a wizard's or a witch, and there's witchcraft involved or something cool like that. But you know, I can understand why they didn't, because it's a kid's book and it doesn't need all of that explanation. I just thought it would have been cool if they would have, you know, went deeper into that aspect of the story. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun read. I thought it was a quick read, and it's very similar to the movie, other than the fact that the movie's set, I believe the movie's set in America, and the novel is set in England. And I think it would have, if this book was set in America, it would have had different connotations because of, you know, the whole Native American, you know, conflict and all of that. And I think that would have, you know, it would have had a different, would have had a different impact, I guess. And but other than that, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go ahead and give The Indian and the Cupboard by Lynne Reid Banks 4 out of 5 stars. So I thought I'd throw that quick review out for everyone, because I'm waiting to do a review with Ashley. Our schedules have been conflicting really bad lately. But the next book we're gonna review together is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. We both finished it. We both have our notes. We're just trying to work on a time to get together and record it. So I hope you're all looking forward to that. If you like my videos, go ahead and hit the like button. It's over here maybe. And if you want to subscribe, that's cool too. If you want to dislike my videos, that's also cool. Negative criticism is often the best criticism. Unless you're like bashing me and calling me names, then that just hurts my feelings, and I don't like that. Be a star, people. Be a star. So with that said, thanks for tuning in once again. The Native American in the Cupboard, The Indian in the Cupboard by Lynne Reid Banks, 4 out of 5 stars. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I will see you next time.